decisive action to protect this country. And will continue working with our close allies and partners, the Syrian Democratic Forces, the Iraqi security forces, including the Kurdish Peshmerga, and more than 80 members of the global coalition to keep pressure on ISIS to protect our homeland. We remain vigilant. We remain prepared. Last night's operation took a major terrorist leader off the battlefield and has sent a strong message to terrorists around the world. We will come after you and find you. Once again, today, we continue our unceasing effort to keep the American people safe and to strengthen the security of our allies and partners around the world. I want to thank you all. May God bless you and may God protect our troops. I'm heading off to New York right now. I'm late, and I thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
How many
That was
U.S.
the
troops are
President
involved, sir?
of the United States talking about the raid overnight. National Security Correspondent David Martin is at the Pentagon. David, can you tell us, has the White House given any indication about when they decided to conduct this raid and why the time was right now?
Well, it seems that they finally were confident that they knew the location of Haji Abdullah in December, to the point where they actually built a model of his house and showed it to the president in the Oval Office. And as the president said, one of the concerns was civilian casualties, because a family that was totally ignorant that an ISIS leader was living on the third floor was living on the first floor. And in the previous raid against an ISIS leader, al-Baghdadi, he had blown himself up. So they were worried that this time the ISIS leader would again try to blow himself up, and it would collapse the whole house down onto the innocent people living on the first floor. So they actually did engineering studies to determine whether or not the house would be in danger of collapsing. Determined it was not, and that appears to have been the case. It did not collapse, although the way the president just described it, it sounds like Haji Abdullah was not just wearing a suicide vest, he had that whole room rigged with explosives.
David, many Americans are hearing the name Haji Abdullah for the first time. What can you tell us about him?
Well, he goes by a number of names. We'll stick with Haji Abdullah just not to confuse people. He was considered a more hands-on leader than his predecessor, al-Baghdadi. He was more directly involved in operations, including this recent ISIS attack on a prison where a lot of their fighters were being held, which turned into a day battle. And if he was more hands-on, that may be what gave him away, because to be hands-on, you have to communicate with people, and he may have gotten careless with his phone calls and given U.S. intelligence a lead, which allowed them to follow them back to this house, where, by the way, he lived much like bin Laden lived. He lived on the third floor and almost never went out.